Hi dear students, welcome to Gita's classes. Today we are going to see the next topic in sequences and series. That is, throughout this unit, we are going to discuss the nature of the series. Okay, you are going to find out whether it is convergent or divergent or oscillatory like that. Here for positive term series, only convergent and divergent. Only for last topic alternating series, it may be oscillatory. Okay. So throughout this unit, for all the methods, we are going to find out whether the given series is convergent or divergent. So first method is comparison test method. So in the comparison test, we have three forms. If there are two positive terms, sigma un and sigma vn, then if sigma vn is convergent and if all the values of sigma un means what? U1 plus U2 plus U3 plus etc. Right? Vn means what? V1 plus V2 plus V3 and so on. Right? So if if you know that sigma Vn is convergent and you know that U1 is less than or equal to V1, U2 is less than or equal to V2 and so on. If it is true for all the values, then you can say that sigma un is also convergent, right? Similarly, for the next form, if sigma vn is divergent and if you know that all the values are greater than or equal to more than this, so sigma vn itself is divergent, so all the other values of un which are greater than that, definitely it will also be divergent. Okay, then limit form. If two positive term series sigma un and sigma vn are such that limit n tends to infinity un by vn. If sigma un and sigma vn are two positive term series such that limit n tends to infinity un by vn, this is important, this you have to remember, is a finite quantity which is not equal to 0, a non-zero finite quantity, then sigma un and sigma vn converge or diverge together. This is very important statement. We are going to apply this only in the problems, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to find out sigma vn from the given series. Try to take sigma vn, right? Then you will know the nature of, I'll tell you next, we are going to see that only p series test. You can know, you can decide the nature of sigma vn by choosing proper sigma vn from the given question. Then you have to do limit n, you have to find out limit n tends to infinity un by vn. If you can prove that not equal to 0, now from the given problem we have chosen sigma vn which is a known series, okay, by using p series test, okay. Then using this you are going to find out limit n tends to infinity un by vn. If it is not equal to 0, then we can decide if sigma vn is convergent, sigma un is also convergent. If sigma vn is divergent, sigma un is also divergent. That's what we are going to prove. Okay, we are going to find out the nature of the given series using by comparing with sigma vn. For that, now we are going to compare this with some test I told, no, some series sigma vn. How to decide that sigma vn? So we have some auxiliary series which is called p series test. Okay, we are going to find out this. Depending on this only, we are going to decide the nature of sigma vn. Okay, so here you are going to show that sigma, this is the auxiliary series, sigma n varies from 1 to infinity 1 by n power p, that is 1 by 1 power p plus 1 by 2 power p plus 1 by 3 power p plus and so on up to infinity. It is convergent. It converges if p greater than 1 and diverges if p is less than or equal to 1. Remember this, you have to remember throughout this comparison test. Okay, converges if p, because this only, using this only we are going to decide the nature of sigma vn. We are going to choose sigma vn from the given problem and you have to know that whether it is convergent or divergent. For this you have to remember this. If p greater than 1, then it is convergent. If p less than or equal to 1, then it is divergent. Okay. Now, proof of this. For this, I am going to use one theorem, that is integral test. Okay. This test we are going to see after some 2-3 classes only. But now I'll just state the test, and after studying that integral test, you will understand this more clearly. Okay. So integral test, according to integral test, a positive term series f of 1 plus f of 2 plus etc. This is plus etc. General term will be f of n plus etc. Like sigma u1, u2 also you can take, no problem. F of x we are taking because integration, it will be easy for us. Okay, convenient for us, that's why. So f of n, where f of n is decreasing function, f of x is a decreasing function, then integral 1 to infinity f of x dx is according to this. Okay, this is converge if it is finite. If this is a given series, if this is finite, then you can say that the given series is convergent. If this is equal to infinity, then the series is divergent. This is what we are going to prove in integral test. Okay, not now. We are going to prove in integral test. This is the statement. Okay, you need not even prove that. You just remember this integral 1 to infinity f of x dx. If you can find out this, if it is finite, then you can say that the series is convergent. If it is infinity, then the series is divergent. Okay, only condition is this f of x should be a decreasing series. That is one condition. Okay, now we are going to apply this for proving this auxiliary series, right? So integral here, what is f of x? Here f of n, 1 by n power p is our f of n, right? So integral 1 to infinity 1 by x power p into dx, right? So you have to prove that it is, if it is convergent, if this is finite, then it will be convergent. If this is infinity, then it will be divergent, right? So if p is equal to 1, sorry, if p is not equal to 1, we will consider first. So integral 1 to infinity 1 by x power p into dx, which is equal to limit n tends to infinity, you can say integral 1 to m. This can be written like this, integral 1 to m. For our convenience, we are writing like this, dx, right? This is equal to, that is integral 1 to infinity 1 by x power p dx is equal to limit m tends to infinity integral 1 to m 1 by x power p into dx, right? This is equal to limit m tends to infinity. Now you are integrating. So x power p, and you are substituting this x power, this will be integral x power minus p dx, right? So x power minus p plus 1 divided by minus p plus 1 from integral 1 to m, right? So therefore it will be, when you substitute here x is equal to m, so this will become m power 1 minus p divided by 1 minus p, this is for m, minus 1 power anything is 1, so 1 by 1 minus p. So I am going to write this as m power 1 minus p minus 1 divided by, or you can write as it is, so that it will be easy for us. M power 1 minus p divided by 1 minus p minus 1 by 1 minus p. Okay. Now we are going to apply the limit m. Now what is our assumption? What did you assume for p? P value not equal to 1, right? Therefore it may be greater than 1 or less than 1, right? Therefore this is equal to, what will happen to this value? Now when p is greater than, what will happen? 1 by 1 minus p. If p is greater than 1, what will happen to this one? This will become negative, right? Then m will come to the denominator. It will become 0, right? So if, and this will become 0, you will have only this one. 1 by p minus 1. Minus of 1 minus, or 1 by p minus 1 you will get. So if p is greater than 1. That means you are getting a finite value. Therefore it is convergent. And if p is less than 1, what will happen? If p is less than 1, then it will become plus infinity, m power some value, positive value. Therefore, as m tends to infinity, it will be there in the numerator only. Therefore, it will become plus infinity. Okay. And so what you got here, finite means convergent, infinity means divergent, right? Now, if p is equal to 1, here p not equal to 1 we have considered. And now if p is equal to 1, what will happen? Integral, directly you can substitute. Integral 1 to infinity 1 by x into dx. That is integral 1 to infinity log x. Log x will be, definitely it will be infinity. Therefore, sigma, the given series sigma un is, or the given series you can say sigma 1 by x power p, right? What is our series? N power p we have taken. N varies from 1 to. So n power p, n varies from 1 to infinity, is convergent when n is greater than 1 and divergent, p is greater than 1 and divergent when p is less than or equal to 1. Please remember this. This is very, very important. This throughout this you have to by heart, no other go. You have to remember this. If you want to use comparison test, you have to remember this. Okay. And I'll give you some more results. You have to remember these things also. Don't forget, these are all going to be very useful. So limit n tends to infinity, 1 by n is 0. And therefore everything in the comparison test, try to write everything in terms of 1 by n so that it will become 0. Okay. What is limit n tends to infinity? 1 by n squared. It is also 0. And 1 by root n, everything is 1 by n power something is 0 always. And one more result, limit n tends to infinity, 1 plus 1 by n the whole power n is e power 1. Okay. And limit n tends to infinity, 1 plus 2 by n the whole power n is e squared. Please remember these results, these are going to be very useful for you. Okay. Now we are going to do the problems. Always remember the method also they will not mention in the exam. Only you have to decide, you have to find out where you have to apply, which method is going to be useful here. Only by practice you will get that. Okay. And it is very easy. By doing minimum 2 to 3 problems in each method, if you practice, it is more than sufficient. Okay. Yeah. Test the convergence of the series. First problem, 1 by 1 into 2 into 3 plus 3 by 2 into 3 into 4 plus 5 by 3 into 4 into 5 plus etc. Okay. So here they have not given sigma un and all. So general terms are given. So here you have to write the general term. So what is here? What is un? Nth term will be in the numerator. How it is going on? You just see the pattern, how it is going. Okay. So 1, 3, 5, etc. That means 2n minus 1. That is odd numbers, right? So 2n minus 1. And denominator you have 3 terms. Every term will have 3 terms. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5 and so on. See, this is the first term. So you have n, first, second, third. This is the second term. So second, third and fourth. Third term you have third, fourth, fifth. So nth term n will have, then n plus 1 will have, n plus 2 you have. That's all. Very simple. Okay. So this is the nth term. Now everything you try to bring, and here how we are going to take sigma n. Try to bring the maximum power of n in the denominator to outside. Okay. So and everything here you try to write it as 1 by n form. So in the numerator you have 2n minus 1. So n can be taken outside. So 2n, from 2n I have taken n outside. So 2 minus, here only 1 I have, but I have taken n outside, therefore 1 minus 1 by n. Okay. Divided by, I have 1 n here and I am going to take this n outside. Okay, so and 1 plus 1 by n. And one more n outside. So n into 1 plus 2 by n. Okay, therefore un is equal to n into 2 minus 1 by n divided by, I have n cube into 1 plus 1 by n into 1 plus 2 by n, right? So here 1 n and n cube will get cancelled. This will become 2 n squared, right? So 1 by n squared into, in the numerator, 2 minus 1 by n divided by 1 plus 1 by n into 1 plus 2 by n. Maximum power of n in the denominator. Now we are going to assume, let Vn is equal to, actually simplify this and bring it in the n 1 by n per maximum power in the denominator. Okay, so let Vn is equal to 1 by n squared. That is sigma Vn is equal to sigma 1 by n squared. Now what do you know about this series? This is the known series. This is what we are going to use for comparison. Sigma Vn we have taken from the given problem, right? So maximum power of n in the denominator, you take it outside, and 1 by n squared, you assume this as sigma Vn. Now you are going to use the P series test. What do you know in the P series? 1 by n per P is convergent if P greater than 1, and it is divergent if P is less than or equal to 1, right? Therefore, now what is P here? P is equal to 2, which is greater than 1. Therefore, sigma Vn is convergent, right? This is convergent. Understood, all of you? 1 by n squared. Why? From where did I get this 1 by n squared? From the given problem. You have to simplify the given problem. From this, I have considered this 1 by n power maximum term. I have taken outside. There, now I am assuming this as sigma Vn. This is from the given question only. You have to choose sigma Vn. And it should be a known series using our P series test. Okay. So here P is equal to 2, which is greater than 1. Therefore, sigma Vn is convergent, right? Now, what is the next step? Limit n tends to infinity. Un by Vn you have to find out. What is sigma un? Not sigma, un. So 2 minus 1 by n in the numerator we have, and in the denominator we had 1 plus 1 by n into 1 plus 2 by n. Right? Sorry, 1 by n squared also. 1 by n squared. This is our un. The whole divided by 1 by n squared. This is our Vn. Limit n tends to infinity, un by Vn, right? So this 1 by n squared and 1 by n squared will get cancelled. You will be getting 2 minus 1 by n, denominator 1 plus 1 by n into 1 plus 2 by n, which is equal to, here this will become 0. Limit n tends to infinity. Here also limit n tends to infinity. Don't forget to write that. That is also important, equally important. Limit n tends to infinity. Now what will happen? As n tends to infinity, this will become 0, right? This will become 0. This will also become 0. So what are all the remaining values? 2 by 1 into 1, which is 2. Now we got a non-zero value. Conditions are limit sigma Vn you have to find out. After that, limit n tends to infinity, un by Vn should be showed that you have to show that this is a non-zero value. If you get like this, then what can you say? Therefore, by comparison test, what we have decided, sigma Vn we have taken, right? It is a convergent series. Therefore, by comparison test, sigma un is also convergent. You are asked to find out the nature of the series. This is our sigma un. The given series is to be considered as sigma un always. Okay. In that, un is nth term. Right. This is our series, sigma un. Okay. Now, next question. 1 by 1 into 2 plus 1 by 2 by 3 into 4 plus 3 by 5 into 6 plus etc. up to infinity. So sigma un you have to write. This is the given series sigma un. So write the general term here. What is there here? 1 by 1 into 2. 2 by 3 into 4. 3 by 5 into 6. Actually, when you are doing these kind of problems, you separate them. Numerator separately, denominator separately. Okay. So numerator you have first term 1, 2, 3, etc. So n generally, right? And in the denominator you have the first term. You have now here you have to see them separately. See first term 1, 3, 5. Always you need not follow the same rule. Okay. Just by seeing that, by practice only you will get. So here you have two different terms and no relationship between these two. So 1, 3, 5 and so on. So 2n minus 1. It is odd numbers, right? Next is 2, 4, 6, etc. That is 2n. After writing un, you check whether you have written correctly or not. How will you find out? For every problem throughout this unit, after writing the general term, substitute n is equal to 1. Are you getting n is equal to 1 means 1 divided by 2 minus 1, 1 into 2 into, yeah, we are getting. So if for n is equal to 2, for n is equal to 2, 2 divided by 2n minus 2. So 4 minus 1 is 3 into 2 into 2, 4. Yes, we got the second term. At least for 2 or 3 terms you check. When n is equal to 3, are you getting? When n is equal to 3, n, yeah, 3 divided by 3 into 2, 6 minus 1, 5 into 3 into 2, 6. Yeah, 3 by 5 into 6. Yes, we are getting the terms. After writing un, check whether you have written correctly or not by substituting the values 1, 2, 3, 4. At least for 2 or 3 values you find out. Okay. Now, so what is un? I'll write again. Un is equal to n divided by 2n minus 1 into 2n. Right? Now you take n, you keep it outside, you keep it in the denominator as a numerator. Denominator, from this term you take n outside. So 2 minus 1 by n. And you take this n outside. So this will become n squared and 2 will be remaining. Now n and n. So this will become 1 by n into 2 into 2 minus 1 by n. Right? Now what is our Vn now? Sigma Vn is equal to 1 by n. Sigma 1 by n. Sigma 1 by n. Now n power 1, right? Therefore here n power 1. So if p is less than or equal to 1, what do you know by p series test? Therefore sigma, which is divergent, directly you can write, which is divergent, because since p is equal to 1. Okay, for p less than or equal to 1, divergent, you know, by p series test. Okay, therefore you know, now you have to find out limit n tends to infinity un by vn. So first step is write un term, then try to bring maximum power of n in the denominator outside, then assume sigma vn, then find the limit n tends to infinity un by vn. What is that limit n tends to infinity? What is un? 1 by 2n into 2 minus 1 by n divided by 1 by n. So this n and n will get cancelled. You will be getting 1 by 2 into 1 more 2. So 1 by 4, which is not equal to 0 and finite. You should get a finite value, non-zero finite value. Okay. Therefore now you can write, depending on sigma vn, you can decide the nature of sigma un. Sigma vn is what? Divergent. Therefore by comparison test, sigma un is also divergent. Okay, one more question. This is a standard question. Next question you can expect for 5 marks minimum. So third one, test the convergence of only sigma root of n squared plus 1 minus root of n squared minus 1. So here what will you do? What is the procedure for comparison test? We have to bring the maximum power of n from the denominator outside. Now everything is the numerator, no? So what is our un now? You try to bring it to the denominator. How will you do that? Let us see. N squared plus 1 minus root of n squared minus 1. See, I want everything in the denominator. N should be in the denominator. So to bring it to the denominator, multiply and divide by its conjugate. Here you have minus, no? So plus. Right. So this is equal to root of n squared plus 1 minus root of n squared minus 1 into its conjugate is root of n squared plus 1 plus root of n squared minus 1 divided by the same thing, root of n squared plus 1 plus root of n squared minus 1. Now a minus b into a plus b is a squared minus b squared, right? So n squared, a squared, root of n squared plus 1, root of n squared plus 1. It will become n squared plus 1. It will come out of the square root. That is root of a into root of a is a. Right? Root of a squared. Actually root of a squared. Therefore it is becoming a. That's how we are writing here also. N squared plus 1 minus of n squared minus 1. Don't forget this bracket, otherwise everything will go wrong. Divided by root of n squared plus 1 plus root of n squared minus 1. Now this n squared and n squared will get cancelled. This will become plus 1. Therefore this is 2 divided by root of n squared plus 1 plus root of n squared minus 1. I want power n to the power to the outside, right? Maximum power of n in the denominator should be written outside. Now what can I do? From this term I can take one n squared outside. When it is coming out of square root, it will become n. Similarly here also, second term also n squared is there. So what I am going to do is I am taking n outside, right? So inside the root, what will happen? 1 plus I am taking this root of 1 plus 1 by n squared, right? Plus root of 1 minus 1 by n squared. Now this is our un. Now can you tell me what is our sigma vn now? 1 by, yes, 2 by n into root of. Now can you tell me what is vn? Yes, you are right, 1 by n. Sigma vn is equal to 1 by n, which is divergent, because p is equal to 1. Since p is equal to 1, it is sigma u 1 by n, right? Sigma 1 by n. Always don't forget to write that sigma. Sigma 1 by n is divergent. That is sigma vn is divergent, right? Now what is the next step? Limit n tends to infinity, un by vn you have to find out. So limit n tends to infinity. What is un? We'll write 2 by, in the numerator 2 by n into root of 1 plus 1 by n squared plus root of 1 minus 1 by n squared, the whole divided by 1 by n. So 1 by n will get cancelled, and when you apply the limits here, 2 will be there, divided by 1 plus 0 plus root of 1 minus 0, that is also 1, right? Which is 2 by 2, which is equal to 1. It is a non-zero finite value, we have proved. Hence, depending, if it is non-zero, then what you can decide? Depending, whatever is sigma vn, you write the same thing for sigma un. Now we know sigma vn is divergent, therefore sigma un is also divergent. Actually, your aim is to find out the nature of the given series. Okay, for that we are taking one more term, one more sigma vn we are assuming and comparing with the, from the given problem itself we are taking that. Okay, now one more question. I think I can give it as a homework. Test the convergence of sigma n varies from 1 to infinity 1 by n cube into n plus 2 divided by n plus 3 the whole power n. I think better I will only do. So let un is equal to, what is un now? In terms of, in the previous problems they have given n terms. Now sigma directly they have given, n varies from 1 to infinity. So un is equal to only this term you take, 1 by n cube into n plus 2 divided by n plus 3 the whole power n, right? So directly n power 3 is outside, so sigma Vn you can consider. So Vn is equal to, or sigma Vn is equal to sigma 1 by n power 3. Now what is sigma 1 by n power 3 is convergent, because P is equal to 3 which is greater than 1. Greater than 1 means convergent, less than or equal to 1 means divergent. Please remember that. Right, now limit n tends to infinity, un by Vn is equal to one by n cube into, now you can take n power n outside, n power n by n power n into 1 plus 2 by n the whole power n divided by 1 plus 3 by n the whole power n, right, divided by 1 by n cube. This n power n will get cancelled. 1 by n cube is our v, this also will get cancelled. Therefore what will happen, 1 plus, now limit this is equal to, what is this, limit n tends to infinity, 1 plus 2 by n the whole power n is e squared. I have given you the values, so please remember that also, which is equal to 1 by e. 1 by e is a non-zero value, and therefore what is sigma Vn? It is convergent. Therefore what can you say about sigma un? Is also convergent. Whatever you are assuming from the given question, you are taking sigma Vn. What is the nature of sigma Vn? This also, sigma un also will be the same. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see the next D'Alembert's ratio test in the next class. Thank you.